The three engines had finally left Sodor and had now stopped at Barrow Station.
Right, it is 97 miles to Shildon, so the journey should take 2 hours and 40 minutes at most,
Mr. Nooner told them. The three engines were ready to go, but their drivers didn't start them.
What are we waiting for?
Asked Thomas.
Or we have to let a train pass before we can go,
his driver told them. Finally the train raced past them.
What colourful steam engines!
The three engines were now excited.
Right, here we go,
shouted Thomas. And then they all started. They were happily puffing down the rails en route to Shildon. Thomas and Percy were much slower than Henry, and he had to go at their speed.
You are so slow,
he huffed.
We can't help it,
shouted Percy.
I should have been in front. I could have pulled yous.
Pulled us? We're not coaches.
I don't care. This is too slow for me.
Up the lane, they saw that the signal was red, and they had to stop. The engines looked over, and in the yards, there was lots of diesels.
Look at those engines. They're so colourful. They're like a rainbow.
Thomas, Percy and Henry just ignored them.
So, rainbow engines, what are you doing on our railway?
Where did you come from?
I think they're from the island of Sodor.
We're going to Shildon to see Dominion of Canada and Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Oh, very good.
Eventually the signal went green, and Thomas and Percy started off. But they didn't know that Henry wasn't moving. He had run out of water. Henry, his driver and fireman, and Mr. Nooner shouted, but they couldn't hear them.
Hey, you've left the big one behind,
shouted one of the diesels.
Yeah, like I would believe you,
replied Thomas. Mr. Nooner and Henry's driver and fireman were in a panic.
Where was the water tower? We were under the impression that there was one at this signal.
What are we gonna do? We're lost in the middle of nowhere, panicked Henry's driver. Henry sighed sadly.
There I go again. I'm a failure.
Mr. Nooner ran over to the diesels.
What happened to the water tower?
Oh, it was removed months ago. Didn't you know?
No, we didn't. Where is the nearest one?
Oh, it's at the station.
Is it far?
It's about 3 miles down the line.
What is happening, Mr. Nooner?
asked the worried Henry.
The nearest water tower is at the station about 3 miles away. How am I going to get there? Thomas and Percy are going to go to Shildon without me.
Thomas and Percy were puffing down the lane, and then Percy's driver looked back and saw no Henry.
Henry's not there,
he shouted.
What?
gasped Percy, and him and Thomas looked back, and true to Percy's driver's word, Henry was nowhere to be seen. They saw a signal box down the line. As soon as they stopped, the signalman rushed out.
What are you doing? You cannot stop on the main line. Roll 55. You cannot do it. We have to do it. Henry's in trouble.
And then Thomas's driver came out and told the signalman everything.
Where did you say he was? At the last signal.
Oh, great. Now I'm gonna have to stop the express.
The signalman went and made some phone calls, and a few minutes later he came back out. Right, here's what you're gonna do. You two will reverse back to the signal, couple onto the other engine, and pull him to the next station, where he will get water.
Those diesels warned me and I didn't listen to them. You're gonna have to start trusting engines, Thomas. You didn't trust Bill and Ben a few months ago. And don't get me started about last Christmas.
I know, Percy. I'm sorry. And then they both reversed back to get Henry. Henry, his driver and fireman, and Mr. Nooner were very worried. And Mr. Nooner was trying to phone for help, but his phone was getting no signal.
A train could come thundering down this line any minute. I know.
Then Henry looked in the distance, and to his delight, he could see Thomas and Percy.
Thomas and Percy are coming back,
he shouted, and everyone looked in delight as they reversed onto Henry.
Couple him up,
shouted Percy's driver. They told Henry and his crew everything. Thomas gloomily looked over at the diesels. I'm sorry. I didn't listen to you.
Don't worry about it. Everything's turned out good in the end.
Percy chuckled.
Well, Henry, you said earlier about pulling us. Now we are going to pull you.
Everyone laughed, and then Thomas and Percy started pulling a heavy Henry down the lane. Henry was very heavy, but Thomas and Percy didn't care, and then they finally reached the station. Henry enjoyed his drink, and soon he was full of steam and ready to go again.
Right, next stop, Shildon,
said Mr. Nooner, and for the final time, all three engines started again, on their way to Shildon. Eventually, after a long haul, they arrived.
This place is beautiful,
commented Henry as they passed the town. And it wasn't long until they arrived at the museum. And there, outside to greet them, was the Minion of Canada and Dwight the Eisenhower. "Hello, Dwight. Hello, Dominion," said Thomas.
Hello, Thomas.
"Well, you came to visit us after all."
Yes, we did. We wouldn't have missed this for the world. And it was a surprise as well. We weren't told until yesterday. And it is nice to see you again, Dominion. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Then the museum manager came out.
I want you all lined up beside each other. There's going to be a huge exhibition today, and you're going to be part of it. Lots of excited people are coming to see you.
The three engines felt very honored.
Right, we will line up together right away,
said Henry enthusiastically. Dwight the Eisenhower smiled. This is gonna be very interesting, he said.